Good evening. My name is Amanda Fagan, and I'm here to tell you that Illinois is not a good place to live. Everyone is leaving. The average rate of exiting is 300 residents a day. It's also an argument that we've had in our household. I don't want to leave. My family's here. This is my home. My boyfriend is out the door, ready to bail. We see a lot of money going into the state, but we don't see a lot of services coming out of the state. I surveyed 16 people. These were the questions that I asked. Why do you live in Illinois? Do you like living here in Illinois? Do you think that the taxes are reasonable for the services you get? What is the main problem with Illinois? And how can we fix it? And last, should we split into two different states, Chicago and Illinois? My number one answer for why do you live in Illinois was my family is here and this is my home. That was 100% across the board, all 16 surveyed people. This is our home. We should not have to choose between our families and our financial security. The corruption in Illinois is statewide. It starts in Chicago and funnels down to Springfield. It extends to all our borders. Every resident is tired of working hard and having their earnings taxed and taken away. And every resident is tired of the hypocrisy that we are told what to do and our money is given for services, but the people representing us, such as our governor, are doing the complete opposite. There have been attempts in the past. We voted in Bruce Rauner. He lasted one term. Unfortunately, he could not make any change because every time he tried to do something, he was blocked from the get-go. You can't make change, you can't make things better if no one is willing to work with you. Last year, we had a representative from downstate bring to the table that we should separate into two different states, Chicago and Illinois. 10 out of my 16 people surveyed said they love this idea. I love this idea. I feel that Chicago is a huge drain because it sets precedent for unrealistic expectations of the rest of the state. Unfortunately, this is prohibited by the U.S. Constitution. But splitting the state brought to light some real problems that we have. Number one, our taxes are uncontrolled. They're ridiculous. There are people paying property taxes for an 80 by 80 lot in a subdivision in excess of $12,000. Our Medicaid and our public aid, the abuse is rampant. It's horrible. It needs to be reformed. And a $15 minimum wage, most small businesses cannot afford this. And it's not just small businesses. Many little towns cannot afford to pay their clerks $15 an hour for full-time, or many fire departments cannot afford to pay their personnel $15 an hour. So what do we do to fix it? First of all the state representatives, they need to go. Thank them for their service and terminate them. And then we need to find financially responsible, common sense people. They will have term limits, 2 terms, that's it. While they are serving, they will receive minimum wage, no health care benefits after their term is over. They will receive full health care while they are in term. They will receive housing and they will receive meals. And then when their service is done, they will go and live productive lives as members of Illinois. Each department needs to be overhauled and audited. We need to figure out things where, for example, the tollway money is going. The Illinois tollway generates millions of dollars a day, and no one seems to be able to account for it. We need to take lessons of people who have tried to reform the state in the past, one being former Comptroller Judy Barr Topinka, who took a staff of 30 to 40 and reduced it to 4, and also cut her spending by 2/3 in her department. We need to look to other people like the mayor of Harvey, who wanted to eliminate ghost payrolling, so he made everybody report for a paper check on a Friday afternoon. And not only did you have to report in person, you had to show ID of who you were. There were a lot of paychecks that didn't get picked up that day. And last, we need pension reform. Pension reform is a huge drain on our state's economic status. Not only we have double dipping, we have triple dipping. People who are allowed to draw 2 and 3 pensions from the state. Pension needs to be capped, and then it needs to be rolled into a 401k. And this will eliminate the mishandling of the funds. Mishandling. It will be a slow process, but with the right plan, it will work. Our neighbors to the east, Indiana, they're in the black. They're doing great. And as my mother says, we need to not only vote, but we need to make our vote count. Reform will not happen until we, the residents of Illinois, make it happen. We will have a better life. We will pay less taxes. We will have more services. I am sure we will all be very surprised to find out how much money there actually is after all the fat cats are gone. It's time to take back our state. We need to find common sense, financially conservative people to represent the residents of Illinois. Illinois right now is on the fast track to socialism, and it does not work. We will keep our home. We will be proud to say we are from Illinois. And the easiest thing we can do is to vote. But don't vote for a party. It's not a Democratic thing. It's not a Republican thing. It's the right candidate thing. And yes, your one vote can make a difference. Thank you for listening to me tonight. And let's show the world that these politicians do not represent us, that we, the people of Illinois, represent ourselves.